Hi everyone, today in Integrated Math 1, we're going to be going over Chapter 9, Lesson 3. A linear transformation is an operation performed on a data set that can be written as a linear function. So let's go over an example of a linear transformation. As you can see here, we have that Tom has earned so much money a day. And on the next graph, we're going to say if he had gotten a raise for an extra $5. So as we can see, we have two different graphs here. We have Tom's earnings before an extra $5, and to the right we have Tom's earnings with an extra $5. As we can see here, our mean is going to be 48.6, and our mode is 52. Our range is 18, and our standard deviation is going to be 49. And if we're looking here, notice that our median goes from 48.6 to 53.6. Remember, he earned an extra $5, so our mean is going to go up by $5. And our mode, we went from 52 to 57. Well, the reason because of this is because we are earning an extra $5, which causes our mode to change. However, notice that our range is not going to change. And also notice how our standard deviation went from 4.9 and stayed at 4.9. That is something very important, that our standard deviation and our range do not change. And let's say, so this is exactly what we were doing. Transformations using addition. Make sure you write this down. And this is the kind of problem that we just completed. If we have our mean, median, and mode, to have a transformation using addition, we simply add k to that mean, median, and mode. We add that to the original data set. And remember how our range and standard deviation did not change. Very important that those do not change, because they are not affected by it. So let's try an example of this one. And we want to find out what's going to happen after adding 7 to each value. Well, so let's go ahead and first add 7 to each of them. So 13 plus 7, 25 plus 7, 12, and so on. So let's just go ahead and recall some of the definitions so you can remember. Our mean is going to be our average. We add them all together. Depending on how many numbers I have, I divide that. That will give me my mean. My mode is going to be the number that occurs the most. The median is a standard term when terms are written in increasing order. So small numbers to bigger numbers. Our range is always our max minus our minimum. And our standard deviation, if you need to recall on that, make sure you watch this week's video, Lesson 1. So this is already kind of calculated out for us just for time's sake, and you can add these together using your calculator just to double check as well. So we have that our mean is 16, our median is 15, our mode is 15, our range is 10, and our standard deviation is 3.3. And these numbers are based off our new numbers that we have. So we have the 20, 12, 15, 19, and so on. So there's an alternate method that we can use to go ahead and get these numbers as well. What we can do first is, based off our original numbers, we can find our mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation. And we can add our k, which is 7 in this case, to our mean, median, and mode. Remember that the range and standard deviation is not affected by it, so we do not want to add that 7 to it. From 9 plus 7, which would give me my 16, 8 plus 7, which would give me 15, and my mode was plus 7, which gives me 15. My range does not change, 10 and 10. My standard deviation remains 3.3 on both. And We can also have transformations using multiplication. And notice it says that the mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation can all be multiplied by k. So let's go ahead and use the alternate method that we talked about in the previous question to find this out. So if I go information with my mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation, this is what I would get. And if you look up here, it says by multiplying by a value of 3. So this is where it gets a little different than the addition transformation. So this is what is different with the multiplication transformation. It's going to be 16 times 3, which gives me 48. 16.5 times 3, which gives me 49.5. 12 times 3, which gives me 36. My range is also going to be multiplied by 3, giving me 36. And standard deviation is also going to be multiplied by 3. That range and standard deviation, so notice it's all the numbers, we're going to multiply them all by 3. Big difference between our multiplication transformations and our addition transformations. So make sure you're not getting confused between both of those.